What to cast, Not sure. So I'll go ahead and pass. What's up, Planeswalkers? Derek6 back with some more Magic the Gathering Arena. Of course, be sure to head over to flipsidegaming.com and use promo code 6 for 10% off on orders over $10. It's a good deal and helps support the show. Now, we are still waiting for a winner for one of these. And you know what? I think I'm going to give my last hint today. And that hint is that there are an equal number of guilds that have red in them in the top set and the bottom set. So between those four, it's not as if 3 red are in one and then 1 red is in the other. It's instead that 2 are in the top, 2 are in the bottom. So that is my final hint, I think. If you can't get it after this, then too bad. There's actually someone out there who is going real deep and really like doing his work. I appreciate you. I will be very happy. I want you to win because of how much gravitas you're giving to this. But today, we're playing something that a lot of people wanted to see me play again, and that is Chromatic Black. This is a deck by, I still have it up here, Alian Trazi, with Cool Stuff Inc. He is a really cool dude. He makes really fun decks, and essentially the version this time is we're able to add some Cryothanarium, which is very helpful, as well as Hydroid Krasis, because we make a lot of mana. And this allows us to draw cards and gain life, which is pretty dang good. Previously, this deck has run Niv-Mizzet. I should mention that his version is technically made for best of 3. So where I have Niv-Mizzet here, he actually had Nexus of Fate, because then you'll be able to potentially loop turns and things like that. Because Masterminds for a Nexus, then you can like have another Mastermind for that Nexus, and just build on top of things and whatever and etc. We have done other slight modifications from his. I believe we took out 1 Cryothanarium for an additional Dispersal, and then we took out 1 of our Moment of Cravings in order to put in another cast down. And the reason for that essentially is that I've not been seeing nearly as many aggressive strategies as I have today. The majority of the decks that I'm seeing are Sultai midrange, essentially, and we'll talk more about that once we hit to the actual gameplay and I discuss these things. So first things first, we have 2 cast downs and 3 Moment of Craving. These are just nice early game removals. Moment of Craving obviously can help you great against those white, blue, and red aggro decks. Not white, blue, and red, I should say. Mono white, mono blue, mono red, etc. And then cast down, of course, is a nice catch-all answer. Obviously, it can't hit legendary creatures, but we do have other removals in this deck that can. 1 Thaumatic Compass. I believe this deck used to run 2, but I could be wrong. That's a Thaumatic Compass. Theoretically can get you some more of your swamps, which is very helpful in this deck that's running Cabal Stronghold. That said, oftentimes I will end up just playing this once I have 7 lands, and it just flips into Spires, and Spires is just a nice way to slowly make it so your opponent can't do as much damage to you, and really gives you that longevity that is helpful. For treasure maps are very important because this deck has some potential for very odd draws, and it's very important that you sequence your plays very well with this deck. I did lose, like the one game I lost was because I didn't take advantage, or I didn't modify my game plan based on how I was drawing. I was not adjusting my plan on the fly, and that you really have to do that, and Treasure Map helps a lot with that. It allows you to not only get that information, but it also gives you some card draw and selection, which can help you leverage some of that those weird draws. For Hydroid Krasis, we make a large amount of mana. This gains life and draws cards. And you might be saying, well, how do you play it? That's with Chromatic Lantern. Chromatic Lantern, when it's in play, it itself can tap for any color. And then, of course, your lands can then tap for any color. So if you have Chromatic Lantern out and Cabal Stronghold and just a few swamps, right, you're going to be able to cast Hydroid Krasis very easily for like 6. Like 6 is super easy. But after that, I'll say that. I've gotten Hydroid Krasis very large, and I'll say that for the discussion. 2 Cryothanarium and 2 Ritual of Soot. Cry is very helpful against those aforementioned mono-colored aggro decks, and then Ritual of Soot is a lot more helpful against those kind of aggressive mid-range strategies, things that are running a lot of 2 and 3 drops. For what it's worth, a lot of these Sultai decks are essentially just an Explore package plus Hydroid Krasis and some Planeswalkers, so Ritual of Soot does do pretty well against those decks. But what I'm seeing is that many of the current Sultai lists are actually dropping some blue, or that I'm playing against, right? They're dropping blue and they're going back to be Golgari and using Karn's Tyrants. And those are a little harder, but still. We are, of course, running a single Josu Vess. I've absolutely won a game because I kicked this. It is relatively easy to kick this since we have so many Cabal Strongholds. Yeah, I mean, kicking this is potentially just a game-winning, game-ending thing right there. But you can also just play it as a 4-mana 4/5 if you kind of need one more draw or something like that, or you just need some sort of pressure on your opponent. For Mastermind's Acquisition, really the backbone of this deck alongside Chromatic Lantern and Cabal Stronghold. This allows you to get anything that you need in the deck or without the deck, and because this is a Mastermind's Acquisition deck, this DeckTech will be a little bit longer because I do need to address the sideboard. And then, of course, we're running 2 Vraska's Contempt, as I said earlier. We do have some catch-all removal that can hit any creature, as long as we can actually target it. And as well, it hits Planeswalkers, which is very helpful because otherwise, we only really have Eldest Reborn, and I did add Dispersal, which can deal with a Planeswalker as well. 3 Karns. Karns are good in this style of deck because, 1, we already have a decent amount of artifacts. You know, we have the treasures and the lanterns and potentially a compass. So our Karn structure is going to be decent. But also, it just allows us to keep digging further and further into our deck, right? We're running 25 lands, and a large majority of those are just like swamps, right? So you have draws where you just draw kind of too many swamps, and Karn helps mitigate that somewhat. Eldest Reborn is a fantastic value card. It allows us to deal with things like Carnage Tyrants. It allows us to do things with things like Teferi or Kaya or something like that out of a control deck, but also it forces them to discard, and usually, since we only really have Hydroid Krasis in the deck, we're going to be stealing something from our opponents. We can get back our own Karn with this, but typically what I've found is I end up taking something from my opponent to try and further my own game plan. And then I run 1 Discovery Dispersal, and the reason I put this in the deck was for the Discovery portion, we are going to be able to look 2 cards deep and then draw a card, so potentially 3 full cards. And that can, again, just mitigate some of those really wonky draws that I seem to face. And then, of course, Dispersal is helpful at dealing with large high-end threats, even if it's not permanently, right? So I had to use this on a Carnage Tyrant just to stall them out a little bit more, so that I could get answers to it later on. So Dispersal in that sense can help. Then, of course, our mana base is Cabal Stronghold. I actually made sure to import the deck properly so that I got these swamps, because this is the correct swamp to get, and I love this swamp. I've already done a Chromatic Black deck with Cabal Stronghold as the thumbnail, I think, so I think I'm going to do this as the thumbnail. Oh, you know what? No. Cabal Stronghold doesn't have a full art on it, so that's why I wasn't able to do with it. And that's disappointing because I loved the art on it. So we're going to hop over to the sideboard now, and I'm actually going to switch to this because I prefer doing this for the sideboard discussion. So this is for Duress, and as I said, this was technically meant to be a best of 3 deck, and in best of 3, you just bring in like the Duresses and the Unmoored Egos, because typically what you're going to find is that against super control-y decks is where your deck kind of falters somewhat. You really have to sequence your plays properly. But Duress and Unmoored Ego help you to deal with your control opponent's very few actual win conditions, right? So you're going to be able to hit the Teferis and hit the Niv-Mizzets and things like that, whereas otherwise you don't really need to be bringing these in with Mastermind's Acquisition. But for Mastermind's Acquisition, we do have an additional Josu Vess, which is, of course, can always come in handy, which is nice. Mirari Conjecture, if you are looking to get back several things. For example, you may have already had to cast like all of your Mastermind's Acquisitions to get answers, and then on this last one you were like, okay, I need another Mastermind's Acquisition. Maybe you don't have the mana yet to Banefire them for lethal, so you know you Mirari Conjecture to get back an instant, which will likely help you, say, a Vraska's Contempt or something. Then you get back that Mastermind's Acquisition, and then the following turn you can get a double acquisition, right? So this is just if you really have run out of options, and it's like kind of last resort. I still run a Niv-Mizzet. You could theoretically bring this in against control if you have a window open where you can cast Masterminds and get Niv-Mizzet, and maybe you don't have enough mana for Banefire, then getting Niv-Mizzet is probably just the correct option, because even if they're able to answer it, you're still going to get some sort of value there. So that's nice. The Immortal Sun, if you're playing against a bunch of Planeswalkers and you just need to shut them down now, and you don't have the mana for like a Star of Extinction or something, which it's 1 more mana off, so hopefully you do. But if you don't, and you need to get rid of those Planeswalkers now, Immortal Sun helps, and it also just makes the rest of your game a little bit better. Star of Extinction. I absolutely have used this because it also helps against Carnage Tyrant, and it deals with Planeswalkers. I use this against Sultai Midrange. Midrange. Zakama, I use this to win. I actually kind of want to win again with it because it was really fun. I just got Zakama, and because I had so much mana, because Cabal Stronghold makes a stupid amount of mana, you can shoot down someone's entire board and then just gain a bunch of life. It's unfortunate that you can't hit their face, but I think Zakama would have been too good if you could. But yeah, we were just able to gain a stupid amount of life and just win from that. 1 Banefire. This is the way that you win this deck normally. You are typically going to get a bunch of mana, you're going to Mastermind's Act for a Banefire, then you're going to Banefire your opponent's face, and since it can't be countered, you're usually good. Usually. There are some random situations where like maybe they have instant speed life gain that is more than the actual mana that you're able to cast it for, but those are not the norm. Sanguine Sacrament. If you're going up against those super aggressive decks and you need to gain some dang life, Sanguine Sacrament is pretty good because you can also re-get it with another Mastermind's Act, or since it shuffles back in, well, it puts it on the bottom, but if you end up shuffling your deck, then you will be able to potentially get it again, which is very helpful. And then, of course, last but not least, Mass Manipulation. If your opponent just has like a really good board and you don't have enough to Banefire lethal them, and instead of getting Star, you could actually just take everything from them, then you can Mass Manipulation to really turn the tides of battle. But, as I said, that was going to be a bit longer of a deck tech. I hope you all don't mind, because I think it's important to show the sideboard in the beginning, if it actually is important. Oh, and for those of you who were curious what these cards were that I was holding, it's just the oversized cards from some of the early Commander sets. And, of course, we have the best Mael. Blind Elf Girl. This hand is okay. It's not the greatest, because we're going second and we only have 2 lands, but we are running 25. If it's a control deck, then we really only have 2 cards in this hand. Or 2 like, real cards in this hand besides the lands. If it's an aggro deck, you know, we have 3, which is pretty good. The thing is, I haven't been seeing nearly as much aggro. So it's very possible that was just a bad keep. Okay, this might be mono blue. It is. So I can potentially kill this next turn. But for mono blue, I doubt it. And honestly, I think we're probably just going to lose because they went first. Okay, Charter Course. They put their shields down, and I think, honestly, it's just correct to kill this now. I think it just is. I could be wrong. But, you know, Spell Pierce and a bunch of things like that, I just think dive downs, all that nonsense. I think I had to. Oh, sure. And that might have been like their only creature, and they were just banking on it. I assume that's a creature there, though. Nope. All right. Well, if they don't have anything for me, then getting it down a treasure map is going to be very helpful. Oh, getting that cast down was also quite nice. This treasure map might get spell pierced, and that's okay. I would like to have it. Yeah, it's going to get spell pierced. So we're going to go and remove the stop. I would have liked to have it, but it does mean that my cast down is more live. Stormtamer, sure. Okay, I have another one of these. So what's really nice here is that I have an array of removal here. And I think what I want to do is pass a turn and then use cast down at my opponent's end step, or in response to enchantment, Curious Obsession. And then if they counter this, they're less likely to counter Cry the Canarium. Or I can theoretically top deck a land for Eldest Reborn, which I might end up doing. So if they cast Charter Course here... Nope, another Stormtamer. So I am going to go and do this. Because even if they just let it happen, that's fine. That's one less creature that they have. And if they don't save it... Alright, sure, that's fine. I mean, they should do that if that were a Moment of Craving, because then I wouldn't gain the life. Okay, so we didn't draw another land, but that's fine, because we can second verse same as the first, right? Our opponent only has 4 cards in hand. It's possible that one of them is an island. They shouldn't show me it if it is an island. Nope, another Stormtamer. Once again, totally fine, because I still have that Cry, and I still have those rituals. So I will start, since I think this game is currently uneventful, I will start talking about the practice modes. Alright, well, oh, you know what? That's pretty dang good. They played that first, so they can get rid of it. I still think it's correct to just do this. They're going to, like, draw a card, perhaps. Well, they're definitely going to draw a card. But I still have Cry the Canarium, which can still deal with this. And you want to save the Ritual of Soot, because these can deal with the Djinn as well. So that was a correct play for my opponent, doing this first. I really want to land, though, because I want to be able to get around a Spell Pierce. And, of course, this is a wizard. That's fantastic. This is a wizard, so they can technically... what's the word I'm looking for? They can use Wizard's Retort for 2. So, I still think it's correct to just Cry here. Hope they don't have it. Damn, looks like they do. Yep, that's unfortunate. Opponent played really well. That said, I do still have 2 ways of getting rid of this. And they're only going to have 3 cards. At this juncture, I think it would be correct for me to Eldest Reborn. Not entirely sure. If they play another creature, I'd definitely be ritualing, yeah. And I would not hate getting another land, just again to play around Spell Pierce. Terramender, sure. Terramender also dies, which is nice. Okay, so they went a little shield down. There was no reason to do that, really. I'm going to cast Ritual of Soot and hope it goes through. Got there. I assume based on that they just didn't have anything, but I do think it was kind of wrong for them to do opt. So yeah, at this point, should be good. With Chromatic Black, my first game was against Mono White. Deck has a lot of removal. They did not have a chance. I think I got to like maybe 16 life. I'm not entirely sure, but we did not feel threatened at all. Tempest Djinn is totally fine. We have Eldest Reborn for that. Okay, and luckily here we have response to Spell Pierce. Is doing this better? I think so. Yeah. No, it's literally the same. No, it's not, actually. I have one more I don't know. Apparently I can't do basic math. We're going to go ahead and treasure map, though. Just so we can try and get things. But we're probably fine just getting a Tempest Djinn because it's a nice blocker. Oh, actually, we could get a Terramander. We could get a Terramander. Oh, wait, we need blue. Which is fine. Yeah, which is fine. Moment of Craving we don't actually need, unfortunately. My opponent is going to discard that card. I can actually just Dispersal them. So that everything will be gone. I can't Dispersal them right now because I don't have the blue. I can Mastermind's Ack for not a lot. Kind of wish I didn't do that. This will give me a thing. I do think I want to Ack. I think I want to Ack for the Chromatic Lantern. Oh, I can just... I didn't realize I would have the extra black. I can just Ack for a cast down. Wait, did I use both my cast downs? Oh, shoot, I did. Okay, so I think it's correct to just get a Chromatic Lantern then. Yeah. Then I'll just... I should have discovered first. I'm a derp. Yeah, I'm fine with this. Did I play a land? I don't know. Okay, cool. I wanted to do that just in case I didn't actually play a land, because I can just do this. We're not going to draw anything, so we're going to take 5 here. Then we can get their Tempest Djinn just to block. I guess we should get their Terramander, because their Terramander blocks better. So we're going to go ahead and take this. Because theoretically we can... Nope. Do this first, please. Cool, cool. And let's try and cast Eldest Reborn. And we do still have mana for the little whatchamacallit. And we're just going to pass the turn. So if we want, we can Treasure Cove. If we want, we can adapt Terramander. So we're in a good spot. Next game was against Sultai Midrange. And that was the game where I got a 22-22 Hydroid Krasis. That was value. That was the epitome of value. My opponent's going to have to discard anyway. Interesting. No, I don't really need that. Blue's not known for their being able to permanently get rid of things. Go ahead and get a nice 5/5 though, and we'll do this now. Compass is good against mono blue because you can stop a single creature that doesn't have Hexproof from attacking, which is very helpful. But I kind of, at this point, just need things. So that's going to go away. Cool. Yeah, this, I mean, we can just kill them with their own Terramander. Absolutely fantastic. Okay. That Sultai Midrange game, I think I played 3 total Hydroid Krasis. I think I did 1 for 4, 1 for, see, I did 1 for 4. I think the next one I did was for 10? And then I did 1 for, the 22. I drew 11 cards. Needless to say, I won that game handily. After that, fun fact, was another Sultai Midrange deck, and this was the game where I just didn't do a good job of dealing with you know, my hand as is, sacrifice treasure. And I ended up essentially forcing myself to flood out. I just play an Urza here. No need to use that, honestly. I guess technically I draw something like insane, but no. They're just gonna give me a swamp, and then next turn I will probably just... Oh. Yeah, alright, fine. Next turn I will probably just get my Cabal Stronghold, because literally drawing anything good. Well, I guess I technically just need Mastermind's Ack. Yeah. There's 3 of them. Yeah, so, you know, it might be a little while. But I am in a pretty... I'm in a pretty good spot. I can just kill them with their own Terramender. So, yeah, unfortunately, I did lose that game. That one, they also had a bunch of Hydroid Krasis, whatever, and they were able to cast more than me and draw better cards. I think I started flooding out a little bit in the late game when I really need to draw something else. But at that point, I had already used a bunch of Mastermind's acquisitions to try and get removal spells for their board. So I was just in a bad spot. I need to double check that I'm still online. Okay, cool. Because it frightens me every time that happens. And I will do this. Okay. I guess we'll draw, see what we get. If we get something where we want a ton of mana. Okay, yeah, sure. I guess I'll just plus again then. Just gonna get a bunch of lands. Which is... What? Not sure if misclick or wants to see more of the deck. But sure, I'll take it. Nope, no thank you. And we'll pass. I'm kind of surprised my opponent's still in the game. Yes, yes please. I would like to show off this Hydroid Krasis. Main phase. This. Minus. Let's get ourselves one of these, shall we? Let's go ahead and play one of these, shall we? Let's go ahead and... I can't wait. Let's go to combat first. I can't wait for my opponent to counter this. It doesn't matter because I'm going to draw a bunch of cards. Alright. Boom. Boom. 15. 16. 17. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So we can do this for 20. No! No! No, it was too slow. I'm sorry, everyone. I was counting too slowly. We could have gotten a 20-20 and drawn 10 cards and gained 10 life. Oh, it would have been great. Oh, I love this deck so damn much. All the Entrust is a cool dude. Cool dude. He has like a hamster cam when he streams. Is it him? Fudge. There's so many cool people who stream and like have pet cams. I know Alias, who's really cool. You should totally check her out. She has a cat, like a cat bed, like right next to her. It's not terrible. Because we have Compass and Discovery. I'll keep it. Green. Alright, potentially Sultai. Potentially Sultai. Or just mono green. I would love a Cryo Carnarium. Actually, let's Discover here. Because I really want to get... I kind of want to keep that. I don't want Karn, I don't think. So the thing is, I might be playing Chromatic Lantern next turn anyway, so I'm not sure if I need that extra swamp. And I really want to get down to Ritual of Soot. Because Ritual of Soot, as it is right now, destroys this board pretty hard. But I think it's fine using Ack for getting Ritual. Not entirely sure. Yeah, this is a nice Ritual board. So, didn't actually need it. We're going to go ahead and Chrom Lantern. And either we draw a Ritual or we go ahead and get one with Ack. Jade Light Ranger. So we're going to take a little bit of damage. Oof, we might actually just die here. Because we weren't able to get it fast enough. Darn, that is unfortunate. Cast down is helpful. Shit, do I have to just cast down? If I cast this down, I'm going to take 4, 9, 10, 11. No. So cast down doesn't actually help me. If I contempt this, then I'll go up to 12. And then 4 plus 5, 9, 10, 11. I think I have to Vraska's contempt. Damn it. I was one... No. Technically, yeah, I'm 1 turn away from being able to actually, like, do what I need. But, damn, that is just the speed of apparently Mono Green Explorer. Damn, that sucks. I forgot one of these won't be able to attack! So I could have technically been able to Thaumatic Compass. Yep, this is Mono Green Explorer. Interesting. Damn. I have to top deck Ritual? Not Ritual. Because this can only give me up to 4, and then I have... Not enough. I can Krasis for 4. That's still not enough because it only gained 2 up to 4. I could cast down this and then Krasis for 2 and gain 1. I could block this and still die. Nope. I think unfortunately we just got God drawn. If we had gone first, or if they didn't have like exactly one of those things, I think I would have won because of Ritual of Soot. But them's the breaks. Sometimes your opponent has a real good start going first. Did I go second? I think I did. Anyway, the last game, my opponent was playing Golgari midrange, and they played Karn's Tyrant, but I was able to Dispersal it, and that... My opponent is 14. We're going first, and we have Treasure Map. I will keep this. Treasure Map and Chromatic Lantern. So I think this is an okay start. Yeah, so we bounced their Karn's Tyrant, which gave us just enough time to... which gave us just enough time to... words are very hard. Set up for Mastermind's Act, but our opponent had gained so much life since they were Sultai midrange. This is another Sultai deck. They were able to gain so much life that... do I want to scry here? Not really. If I draw a land, I would rather be able to play Chromatic Lantern. That's exactly why I did this, because now I can play Chromatic Lantern and still activate Treasure Map. So I'm very happy I went with that. And we'll go ahead and just do this now, honestly. Yes, I would like that on top. So we'll pass, and then we'll just draw this. There's no reason for me to finagle with it. Daylight Ranger, yeah, this is potentially another awful draw from us. They might be missing mana, though. Yeah, so they're missing land drops, so that's good for me. I can go ahead and play this Swamp. I now have access to 5 total mana, so I can play Josu, which is a decent blocker, and it can't die to cast down. And then I can still Treasure Map. Yeah, so I think I will Josu. And as I said during the DeckTech, sometimes you need just a 4/5, right? And a 4 mana 4/5 that doesn't die to cast down is very helpful. I will just pass the turn and do this at their end step, and then on my turn this will flip, giving us a decent number of treasure, so I might need to Karn into some value, but the fact that our opponent has misstepped 1 turn on mana might be enough to win us this game. But yeah, I guess that Golgari midrange player, they gained so much life from their Explorer triggers that I was unable to Banefire them, but I was able to get Zakama, untap all of my mana, which was 3 Cabal Strongholds. Oh no, I think that one was 2 Cabal Strongholds. Kick a Josu Vess. Ooh, that makes me sad. Darn. Yeah, things happen. I'm looking kind of for a Ritual of Soot here. No, I don't think I need this. Mastermind's Act. Can we Act and cast a Ritual? I think we can, right? This gives me 4. Yes, I can. And I will absolutely use all of my treasure to do so. I can't untap that. I can't untap that. Because for some reason, this doesn't count as a mana ability. I am pressing Z. I can press Control Z. There's nothing I can do. Absolutely ridiculous. That's... I have to do this or I just die. Like, there's so... Sure, whatever.
Let us begin. There is great power in the things we make.
Like, I understand that I should have double-checked to make sure I was in the main phase, but there's no reason Cabal Stronghold shouldn't be an untap. None at all. So I would have died if I hadn't done this. Absolutely ridiculous.
There are great battles to fight.
I don't have the mana for it anymore. Nope. I can cast Chromatic Lantern once. That deals with these two. Guess it deals with these as well. And then I can just play a Krasis for 2. I mean, this game was in the bag. So we can Contempt this. If I Contempt this, I get this off the board, and I gain 2, I go to 5. Let me make sure I'm in the main phase. Alright, cool. But then I'd only be able to Hydroid Krasis for 1. Which means I would be able to live. Alternatively, I could Krasis for 5. I would gain 2, go to 5, and I would die. So I literally have to do this. If my opponent has any sort of removal, I lose. I lose a game that I absolutely should have won. Man, I was planning on singing some, like, old school, like, Nickelodeon, Disney Channel shows and things, or the intros. And it's just out of me. Can't do anything with that Mastermind's acquisition. I can get up to 4 life. Cry the Carnarium kills 2 other things, and I still die to Jadelight Ranger. Absolutely should have won that. The fact that that's not in the game to untap Cabal Stronghold is ridiculous. Again, like, I recognize that I should have double-checked, triple-checked even, to make sure I was in my main phase, but still, it shouldn't be a thing in the game. There's no reason Cabal Stronghold can't be untapped. Especially since I didn't do any other actions, right? I immediately realized and tried to untap. There's a good hand against Aggro Control because we have 2 of these. Need more swamps, but should be fine. might be against aggro, and we did draw some more swamps, so hopefully we'll be able to actually win this game. I'm legit. I'm going to count last game as a win. Absolutely. And some people might be saying that's like misleading or whatever, but that game was a win. And anyone who thinks that I would have lost even if I was able to get a Ritual of Soot there, no. Absolutely not. We should be able to win this game as well, since we do have a moment. Okay, since our opponent is kept a one-lander. Why? Why did you ever keep a one-lander? Sure, you can have as many shocks as you want. Not going to help you. You don't have any mana. Honestly, I think I'm just going to acquisition for a Stronghold or a Chromatic Lantern. Chrom Lantern. Thank you. Because next turn I can play a Chrom Lantern and hold up Moment of Craving. Sure. Or I guess more realistically use Moment of Craving. And the turn after, we should be fine. I do think that we would be fine even if our opponent was getting land drops, just based on our hand. But so go ahead and play this. Go ahead and do this. 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can do this for 5. Might as well. Get 2, draw 2. Totally fine. Ritual of Soot, yeah. We're doing alright. This is a nice win condition. Our opponent might concede soon. Vicariously I live while the whole world dies. You all feel it too, don't lie. The Rock Obama. What is it? Chiquita banana, Obama. This is a keepable hand. Chiquita banana, osh gosh bagosh. Interesting. Might be Vamps. Could be black-white control. Could be Esper. Esper, okay. Thought Erasure. Nope. A counterspell of some sort. I will go ahead and play this. And totally fine if they counter it, because it is not integral to my game plan at all. Darn, they didn't counter it. Next turn I can go ahead and play Swamp. I can just use the Mana Compass. So they're on Esper. But they're not doing much, and I don't mind. Thin out my deck a little bit. I mean, that's literally all it does right now. Just thin out some deck. Yeah, you can... Like, I'm not going to be playing many creatures, bro. We're going to get... which of these should I get? I'm thinking Swamp, but I might actually need a Swamp. You know what? Instead, we're actually going to go with Swamp. Like, I'm allowed to lose... Ooh. Look at all these strongholds. Ah. Ah. We're going to go ahead and... I mean, we could cast Karn now. Is it terrible? We don't need Karn. Right? And the idea is that maybe if they counter Karn, then if they play it to Fairy next turn, maybe they don't have a counterspell for my Eldest Reborn, which would be coming the following turn. So I think I am actually going to use this Karn as kind of bait. Alright, there was a negate. So if their next card is Teferi, and they don't have a counterspell, obviously they could still have Syncopate, they could still have Spell Pierce. Oh, yes, Spell Pierce. Is it Teferi? It's not, which is fine. That's fine. I do not care at all. I'm actually just going to Treasure Map first, even though it uses my mana worse. And pass turn. Next turn I'll have another Cabal. I'm going to have a ton of mana. An actual ton. Inside on main phase. They're looking for something. Also, they discarded the lands. Why would they do that? That was very weird. They discarded the land. Oh, Chromatic Lantern. Don't mind if I do. They don't have a counterspell for it. I'll go ahead and draw. Luckily, main phase. Oh, we're in the main phase. Good, good, good. Yes, good. Luckily, do I need more mana? Not really, but like I might as well. If I do this, it takes 3 and then adds 4, so it'd be up to 5. So I actually wouldn't be able to do anything that I want. So I'll just do this. Oh wait, I'd have this though. So I'm gonna be at 2. Or shit. Look, I don't care. I don't have anything to do at instant speed anyway. Alright, cool. I did have enough mana. Don't judge me, alright? I don't know if it's correct to play another Swamp or play another Stronghold next turn, but I don't think it really matters. We need to do this. But yeah, like... Darn, they're going to take my Eldest Reborn? Hydroid Krasis? Probably Hydroid Krasis. I think that makes the most sense. But yeah, they dropped this Swamp, and I don't know why they did. Because they didn't play a land next turn. I assume they're taking Hydroid Krasis. That has to be the only correct play. Yes. And they scryed to the top. I will go ahead and do this. Hydroid Krasis. Hydroid Krasis. Hydroid Krasis. No. You're garbage. You should be ashamed. Draw. Main phase. Swamp? I don't fucking know. I think I just play this and don't actually care about making a ton of mana. Do one of these. Nope. And that'll flip. I could get one more Swamp, but I actually don't think I want to, right? Yeah, I don't want those shuffled back in the deck, so we're going to go and just pass. I mean, we have Eldest Reborn. Moment of Craving is garbage here. It does nothing. But we have Eldest Reborn, which is nice. We have this if they are trying to kill us with actual creature combat, and I don't think they are. I think they're going for a Kaya and Teferi plan. That is my assumption. What's nice is that I can start drawing more cards. Karn is helpful. I'm going to draw this. Then we will main phase. We will go ahead and play this. And you know what? We're going to use one of them. Because why not? Wobbuffet. Cool. And you know what? We're going to get some value out of it.
I advise that you yield.
Absolutely fine. That's exactly why we did that. Because we are going to have a decent number of Tree Jar tokens.
Allow me to introduce you to a friend of mine.
Yeah, it's fine. I have a 6/6, right? Like, this is something that can just kill them. Value construct. Nope, it's going to die to a cast down. Once again, totally fine. I'm fine with that. They use 2 removal spells, right? They 2-for-1 themselves, right? Because they got rid of Karn and they got rid of a free thing that I got from Karn. Thought Erasure is unfortunate because they're going to take Eldest Reborn from me. So now that that construct's not there anymore, I can go ahead and Treasure Cove. Get some things at the end of their turn. But I mean, they're not looking good. The thing is, I still need to actually get some winning going on. So I'll go and do this. Sacrifice a Tree Jar. I'm going to get some more Tree Jar. Arr! Tree Jar. Draw. Or scry. Scry. Scrying. Now we'll draw. And now we'll main phase. I would like to draw. Because I need what I would refer to as action. Very unfortunate. The deck theoretically could run things like Arch of Vraska, but then you're diluting the amount of swamps. We're going to draw at the end of their turn, because I don't want to get hit by another Thought Erasure, even though they've only used 2. I can Vraska's them if need be. But it looks like they're also not doing anything. I assume that the majority of their cards in hand are things like Mortify, Cast Down, board wipes, etc. And that is one nice thing about going up against control like this, is that they are relatively frequently not going to have much they can do. Josu Vess is probably just going to get hit with a counter spiel. But I can Josu kick because, you know, works out. Why would you ever do that? Wait, did it use this? I don't. Who cares? Whatever. Whatever. I have enough mana. I'm not going to play this other Chromatic Lantern because my opponent may want to destroy it like as a 1-for-1. All right, cool. I assume this is going to get Kai's Wrath. It just makes sense. Once again, though, like they had something to do with instant speed. Once again, I'm not going to actually use the Treasure Cove just yet because I do think that it is a little bit better to wait. You know, force them to do things on their turn. You know, if they do Kai's Wrath this turn, then yep, then they have less mana to work with. Search for Azcanta? That's fine. And now they have even less mana to work with, which is nice. Unfortunately, Azcanta is going to potentially become a problem, since I will not be able to deal with it in either form. Not hard. I guess I could theoretically get a Zakama, and that would be funny, but it's just better in this situation to get Banefire. So what I'm looking for is a... Oh my god, I'm looking for an acquisition, please. I'm drawing so many cards. Please give me an ac. I would like to acquiesce in acquisition, please. Ac would probably get countered. Alright, hear me out. I'm going to play Chromatic Lantern first. I'm actually going to tap these. And play Chromatic Lantern. Does he counter it? Do it, please. Please counter it. Shit. Alright, well, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try an Aki. I can absolutely kill my opponent with Banefire. Don't counter it. Don't counter it. Ooh, okay, cool. Alright, so now we're gonna go ahead and do one of these, and do one of these, and do one of these, and we're gonna go ahead and Banefire them for, I don't know, 20? I can do more than that. Let's go to 25. Boom. I put 5 on it. Alright. That game kind of made up for the last game. Like, absolutely. Absolutely, I'm counting that as a win. I don't care what anyone says. Stupid arena didn't let me untap my dang... Oh, this is a mythic.
I like a good fight. Notice I didn't say fair.
I know memes. I'm hip. Today for you, but tomorrow for me. Cosmetic update. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so excited. I'm gonna have a lot of cosmetics, everyone. I'm gonna have a lot of cosmetics. I'm going to spend so much gems. Well, really quickly, what I like though is that you can draft and you can get gems, right? You can actually win gems from game modes, and I think that's very helpful. I don't think you can for constructed, right? No, you just win gold. But the fact that you can win gems from draft formats, from draft modes, I think that's super awesome, because it means that you can get premium content even if you don't pay real money for it. And I think that's good, right? Obviously, Wizards are going to factor that into their cosmetic costs, but I think that's totally fine because of the fact that we can actually earn gems. Not every game, their premium currency can be earned, right? So I do appreciate that from Wizards. But I'd like to, of course, thank my lovely patrons, especially Salamander and Croft, for the continued support. If you'd like to join them in supporting the channel, you'll find links to that down in the description below, along with links to the Discord server, where we chat and play games, and you can message me and say all kinds of nice things. Please, only nice things. As well as the 8th Herb account, where I'll host all of my deck lists. As well, there will be a link to Alian Trazi's YouTube channel. I think he... crap, there's so many people. I think he shares one with another Magic creator, but I don't remember. But regardless, his link will be down there, as well as a link for the artist for the land art that I think I'm going to be using for the thumbnail. And if you want to become a patron, but you don't want to become a patron, you can feel free to just click that join button down below. And as always, I do hope that you've enjoyed this video. I did, at least most of it. If you did as well, go ahead and tap that like button, add a subscription to your mana pool, cast a comment to the comment section down below, pass the turn and the video to some of your friends. And until next time, all will be one.